Let's spin it back where it all began, with six strings, dreams and a skiffle band. A music man with a rebel spark lit the flame that would leave a mark. This ain't just a tale, it's a vlog on the go, with an AI time machine running the show, bringing the past to life scene by scene, from dusty streets to fields of green. Paul had the charm and a grin so wide, tunes in his pocket and time on his side. Left-handed magic, clever and keen, melody sharper than a silver machine. With a glare and a twist in his tongue, leader of laughter, poet when young. A voice like gravel, a heart that roared, turned teenage boredom into Beatles chords. St. George slid in, cool and shy, with fingers that danced and dreams that fly. The quiet lad with a lightning hand soon played lead in the greatest band. A garden, summer in bloom, two lads meet and change the room. A handshake, a spark, the future unknown. Right there in Woolton, the seeds were sown. They strummed as the quarrymen found their beat, from backyards to clubs to Liverpool streets. Names may change, but the sound was tight. Soon they were Beatles and took up in flight. This block's your ticket, come walk these ways. See hidden gems lost in the haze. We'll pass strawberry fields and share a pint, where stories brewed beneath pub light. One pub, one pint, two minds aligned. Stories and songs beautifully timed. A laugh, a clink, a grin, a plan. The rise of a legendary band. We'll show you spots no map will tell, from secret streets to tales that swell the tourist path. May miss the goal, but we dig where the stories unfold.
Drinks to me, drinks to my health, drinks to yours as well. But on a serious note, it's been how many years now since I did that first Beatles video? 2016 I think, so 9 years ago. Lucky number 9. And obviously those 9 years ago I wanted to do like a vlog. I wanted to do it all around the Beatles sites and obviously make a big channel and stuff, but never happened. Life got in the way. And 9 years later I thought, people are vlogging again. It seems to be a big thing. I've always wanted to do it. And I love the fact that you've got AI now and you can bring stuff to life. So whatever's in my imagination, I can try and get it to be as accurate as possible. My intention is to use the AI as a tool to enhance what I want to give out. And everything I do is going to be based on information that's researched by people who are established within that industry. So most of the information that you're going to hear today is taken from a gentleman called Mark Lewisham, who is arguably the #1 Beatles historian. He's got a book which I've read. God, I need to get fit. Hopefully these blogs and the walking will get me fitter. I'm not from around here, but I grew up close, so I've been here a fair few times. I'm lucky really to have it so close to me, because I can do these things for the start of a YouTube channel. There's a lot of people starting a YouTube channel about a music vlog. They probably have to invest quite a lot of money into it to get to the places, so. But the first stop's going to be Strawberry Fields anyway. I remember listening to an interview once where McCartney was saying how he used to cycle all around Woolton, so yeah, it's mainly on me right now, this. But I know for a fact that Paul McCartney would have cycled down this road, Quarry Street. Can you see the links to the Quarrymen? Quarrymen became Beatles, for those who don't know. So John Lennon's original group was the Quarrymen. Then the Silver Beatles, then Beatles with an E, then Beatles with an A. So I'm coming up to Strawberry Fields now, and Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been here hundreds of times, been past it millions of times, and it's always great to see the tourists taking the photos and the magical mystery tour pulling up the bus. You just think, these men, these four lads, they all those years ago, 1957 it started, and it's still going on today. The fandom, the stars, everything. We were just so lucky that it happened in our city, really. I mean, they could have been from New York, they could have been from Sydney, whatever, but they weren't. It just so happened that they were from Liverpool. Well, actually, I tell a lie, because, you know, arguably you could say that if they were in central England, then they might not have got the music from the docks that the sailors brought over from America, and they might not have had as much inspiration, because it wasn't like these days where you can just turn on Spotify and you've got your music, you know. I want whatever, and you've got it at your fingertips. You had to get a vinyl. You had to put it on the thing. You had to get a good quality one that worked as well. Well, not one that was scratched to, you know. So, anyway, I'm standing outside the gates now. You'll get a bit like, you know, you do still get a bit sort of, what's the word? Not emotional, but it's got a special feel, a special vibe to it, this place. Yeah, so this is where John Lennon used to hang out as a young man. So that's where the actual house was itself, just there. And then there's a famous picture that I will show you of one of the orphans that was here, and he's standing. It's a young lad. And yeah, it was kind of cool to put him into AI and bring him back to life, you know. Let people see him, and then obviously the house was right down there, but now it's a visitor centre, which I will be going in at one stage. Now the original gate, which I'm going to put a picture up of at some point, but that's over that way. So it's down there, and you can go and sit off and have a little chill with your mates. And then you've got the bandstand there that was constructed maybe 4 years ago, I want to say. I know that's not a great view, but it is there, and I believe the Quarrymen have played that since. And I'd love to see some bands play on that, actually. In fact, I was going to go down to that, and I didn't. I can't remember why I didn't, but I didn't. But I have met quite a few of the Quarrymen. Lovely blokes, absolutely fantastic. Had a really good chat with Rod Davis. I just caught the back end of him playing on one of my good friend's instruments. One of my good friends, he's, go ahead Ken, old lad, little shout out there for you. He basically put a guitar and a ukulele together. Impressive instrument. So impressive that Rod was like, oh yes, let's have a look at that, and then he had a go. Me mate Keno's got the best footage, like, but I just got the end of it, so I'll just put the last little bit just after this, just so you can see that I'm not talking. But he was a good lad anyway, really interesting. Had some funny stories, told us all about the famous picture of, you know, the I can't remember the name of the fella who painted the picture, but he was telling us all about it. He was like, I wasn't in it, I wasn't actually there when John met Paul, because I'd gone home for my tea. So in the painting, the banjo just represents him and his jacket. And I remember I think I'd had a couple of beers at the time when I was speaking to him, and I kept saying to him, oh, what happened then when John met Paul? And in the end he was like, well, I wasn't there, mate, so don't ask me. And I couldn't quite stick around for Colin Hanton to come, so, which was a bit gutting. I'd love to meet that man now. He would have some stories, and I'm sure I will one day. So for a bit of context, they were Rod, who I'm talking about, that was a quarryman. Colin Hanton, he was a quarryman who I think he was in there when George joined. So I'm sort of jumping all around the musical history here and not really giving proper chronology, but I guess that's not what this is about. It might become that, I don't know. I sort of wanted it to be that, but I don't think that's realistic in a sense, because how can you do that when you're doing a vlog, you know? But yeah, we've been to Strawberry Fields. Now we're walking along Menlove. So yeah, next stop we'll be at Lennon, lads. Go ahead, Lennon, lads. Yeah, this is the home of one of the greatest rock musicians of all time. There it is, people. John Lennon's house. Born 1945, left in 1965. 3? I can't even read that. I should know, but I can't read it. What's that? 63. So nearly 20 years, 18 years old. So that's when he would have gone to Hamburg. He would have came out of here with his bags packed, ready to start that adventure after what was tough for him growing up. So you can actually go in the house if you want, which is brilliant. So I'd recommend that to everyone. But sort of going on to the next one, coming up to a house now called Vega. Now this is where John's and Paul McCartney's, couldn't think of his last name, Paul McCartney's mate lived. Vega, see it above the garage there. And there's actually a picture of him, John. Not John, no, I don't think there's a picture of John outside Vega, but there's definitely one of George, Ivan and Paul outside the house. Yeah, and essentially how John met was that this house backs onto John's house. So I think they must have seen each other, and they'd seen each other just as kids do, you know. I heard him playing in his back garden, I was playing in mine. They were only in primary school, and he went around and knocked, and a friendship was born. And Paul got to know him when he went to the Lipper, which was School of Arts then, or I can't remember, secondary, I can't even remember, but it's in town, next to the cathedral. So Paul went there, and yeah, he met Ivan, and then Ivan said, listen, I've got a mate who's playing at St Peter's Church in Woolton Village. It's a fete going on. There's going to be a load of birds there, so dress smart, wear your best white jacket, and come down, you know, get chatting to the birds and meet me mate. He's got a good band, going on. There are other houses along this road, but I can't think for the life of me which ones they are anymore. But I can always come back and show you them again. I'm sure that one is over there, but I don't want to just film some random fella's house, so I'm not going to, in case I'm wrong. You go on a magical mystery tour, and they aren't going to take you to the corner of Linkster and Vale, where Paul McCartney was asked to join the Quarrymen by Pete Shotton. They ain't going to take you there on the tour, but I am. See, Linkster and Vale. One of the most important places in music history, and no one really knows about it. No one really knows. But here it is. Boys down there, lad. Teddy boys down there coming up on a bike sled. That location was where Paul McCartney was invited into the Quarrymen after the events on the 6th of July, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. So we're going to go to the church now where Lennon and McCartney met. Ellen Rigby's grave is there. I'm sure you all know the story about that. Paul was not influenced by the grave that says Ellen Rigby on it. I actually believe him. I think it is just a coincidence that it's there. Maybe subconsciously when he was walking around the churchyard, I don't know. But then I don't think he really spent much time walking around the churchyard, so who knows? Who knows? But anyway, that's where the grave is. But more importantly, that's where the Quarryman had the concert on the 6th of July 1957, and that's where the church hall is, where John and Paul were officially introduced. So, a very fitting word here. I think this is where he got his ideas from, Mr. John Lennon and the rest of the Beatles. Peace. What's great though when you come through the gates at the front is, it says here, praying's the end of preaching, then cometh practicing. Seems kind of like it was trying to tell us something, you know? Coincidence? I think not. No, I do though. Just like the Eleanor Rigby grave, as I said before. So yeah, so as I was saying, before I said it a couple of times now, I think it is a coincidence with the Eleanor Rigby gravestone, but we'll go and have a look at it anyway, because I don't know, it just doesn't really have, I know it's there and I know it's a big tourist attraction and people who like the Beatles are going to come and see it and it's great, but it doesn't actually mean anything really, because I don't think any of them really had anything to do with it. But anyway, I'm going to turn this around because you're looking at me when you should be looking at the other stuff, and that is my fault. So look at that, look at that building, that is beautiful. So, stopped here because there it is. That's the grave. That's the grave, Eleanor Rigby. But a lot of John's family are actually buried in here. So, a chap called George Toogood Smith. Well, it was. Nah, I can't make that joke. I'm gonna make it. It was too good to be true for John. He thought he had a father figure because his father left him very, very young, just abandoned him. He thought he had a father figure, and that one died too. And I think I've had an interview with Paul McCartney, and he said it was such a shame because John always used to say, I'm cursed, I'm cursed. All the men in my life and the women and anyone who's I'm sure, yes, sorry, just realised 48, that can't be right. So I'm pretty sure they are relatives of John, but I can't verify that. I know Dykins was a big name in the family. But yeah, so John said, like, you know, my mum's died young, my dad got off, my stepdad's died young, everyone who I have a connection with or is a figure in my life did die. And I think it just but this is the grave anyway, so this is where to come and sort of remember his stepdad. Just behind that there is where the stage was. Paul would have just stood there watching John play. I think it was the Del Martins was, I know, the House Martins. I don't know. But anyway, the song that goes down, 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 come and go with me. That was it. That's what he was playing. But he was getting all the words wrong. And Paul thought, oh, that kind of, he's a cool guy. He looks like a man. I think he was saying he looks like a man. I always remember he had this beery breath. He was a man, you know. He was very different to me and my mates, me and George, you know. We were younger. He was grown up, John was. So unfortunately, I think it might be a bit too late to get into the church. Oh no, the gates are open. Yeah, the gates are open. I thought they were closed for a second. It's weird the way that it all blends into one, the railings. But anyway, I'm going to turn it around the camera so you can... Got a car coming. This is a 1957 Nissan Micra. There you go. Simon Peter Centre. Should be the John Paul Centre, but there you go. And this is where the two guys officially met. Now, I have been in there. No chance I'm going to get in there today, obviously, but it's again, it's got that aura about it. And this is where I met, you know, a few of the quarrymen. As I said, nice guys. Now, you might not be a big Beatles fan, you might think it's just a building and don't care, but everyone around the world knows the Beatles. They were the first big band to do it. Not the Rolling Stones, not Oasis, not the Foo Fighters, not Nirvana, no one. They were all influenced by John Lennon and Paul McCartney and George Harrison and Ringo Starr. They were all influenced by that music. And if it wasn't for what happened on that day, who knows whether you would be able to listen to the music that you're listening to right now.
Well, he's got salt and pepper hair and a phone in his hand. He's a one-man band with a walking plan, from the church hall steps to the old picture show. He's talking about the Beatles now, away he goes. He's the music man Rex, but the real name is Boots. Singing stories of the past in his while sticking to his roots. All the key and no idea, but a heart full of soul. He's vlogging through time on a rock and roll stroll. With his camera swinging and a smile half cracked, he's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now it's passing Woolton cinema, boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat. Swinging and a smile half cracked, he's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now he's passing Woolton cinema, boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat. Release the camera, swinging and a smile half cracked, he's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now he's passing Woolton cinema, boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat. Well, he's got salt and pepper hair and a phone in his hand. He's a one-man band with a walking plan, from the church hall steps to the old picture show. He's talking about the Beatles now, away he goes. He's the music man Rex. He's the music man Rex, and up the rhythm in his boots, singing the stories of the past in his while sticking to his roots. All the gear, no idea, but a heart full of soul. He's vlogging through time on a rock and roll stroll. With his camera swinging and a smile half cracked, he's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now he's passing Woolton cinema, boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat.
he's got salt and pepper hair and a phone in his hand. He's a one-man band with a walking band. From the church hall steps to the York Picture Show. He's talking about the Beatles, now away he goes. He's a music man, Rex got the rhythm in his boots, singing stories of the past and lost. Whose roots rock again, no idea, but a heart full of soul. He's walking through time on a rock and roll stroll. With his camera swinging and a smile half crack.
But anyway, we're on Mason Street right now, just around the corner, and this is very important in Beatles history. A lot about John Lennon in this episode, and that's mainly because he was the one that was sort of lived around here. Woolton Picture House. So that's where John used to go with his dad before his dad left him and abandoned him. But he did used to go there and watch his movies. Bit of a sad state at the moment. It's not in operation right now. I was lucky enough to go there and watch a few movies in the past, but that's been closed since COVID. Don't know what's going on with it. The reason why we're coming down this way now, we're about to go into Woolton Village, and this is where John and Paul used to come, George as well, I'm sure, have a few beers with the boys. I know that it's documented that after John and Paul met in the church hall, John had the show in the church hall, and there's audio footage. Watch that guy's vlog that I'm going to link below, because he plays the audio footage of the actual gig itself, which is crazy. It's not good quality or anything, but he plays it in the hall and he sits there and sort of takes it all in. It's kind of cool watching him do that. But watch that anyway. So I think John, the Quarrymen, they played, and Paul came along with his mate Ivan as well, his mutual friend. And then he went to a pub called the why does it escape me the name all the time, the White Horse. And the irony is, I've been there loads of times. I went there for my stag do. I went there as one of the first places on my stag do at like friggin' 11 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, I don't know if they'll welcome me back, but I'm not going in. But anyway, so lovely village, absolutely beautiful. If you come to Liverpool as a tourist, you must come to Woolton Village. It's amazing. But the pub itself is down this way. See loads of little boozers. This is I'm sure they do an open mic in this one upstairs, which is really good. Little beer garden there, which is nice when it's not raining. Very popular pub. The Elephant's been there many times. Go there. Really, really good. Expensive, but everywhere for us these days, unfortunately. But this is the White Horse. This is where they went and had a pint afterwards. So, and then rumour was, and this is from Paul's account, that local Teds were coming down from North Liverpool and they were going to batter whoever was about. Now, apparently at that point, Paul thought, I'm getting off. No one knows what John did, but that's it anyway. That's the White Horse. So I don't think it's fair to go in and start filming and sticking the camera in people's faces. Might do it another time when it's quieter, but it's a Saturday night and people don't want that, you know, so I'm going to be respectful. I don't want to be that person. But that's where it's going to end. But I've tried to recreate. Can't speak. Tried to recreate. I've tried to use the AI to sort of show, not really show, but sort of imagine, like a time machine, I guess. Like imagine what happened that day, and you know what? It's just a few images of smoky pub and Paul having a think about what's going on, and like heads are coming, and John there like fucking hard man, I'm gonna batter them. You know, there is that sort of angle that I've gone for, you know, but there was no reference images to put in, so that is literally just what I've tried to create. And that's why that AI probably looks, compared to a lot of the other AI pictures that I tend to use, because you can base a lot of the AI off images, you see. So I'm going to try and do that, because let's face it, the image is, that's a primary source, that's an image. When I say primary source, I mean something that's definitely fact that happened there and then. That picture was taken. Whereas the ones that I've tried to create, for example, in the pub, there's no pictures that exist of that, so that's just what I've tried to use with my memory and my knowledge. So hey, listen, this has been it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be like. I've literally got no idea. This is the first time I've ever done this, and tell you what, me, I've enjoyed it. So hopefully people do like what they're seeing, and if you do, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. I implore you with peace and love. Thank you.
Well, he's got salt and pepper hair and a phone in his hand. He's a one-man band with a walking plan. From the church hall steps to the old picture show, he's talking about the Beatles, now away he goes. He's the music man Rex, got the rhythm in his boots, singing stories of the past while sticking to his roots. All the gear, no idea, but a heart full of soul. He's vlogging through time on a rock and roll stroll, with his camera swinging and a smile half cracked. He's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now he's got some Woolton cinema boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat. With his camera swinging and a smile half cracked, he's narrating Lennon like the facts got smacked. Now he's passing Woolton cinema boots on the street, feeling Beatlemania in the summer heat.